All right, so y'all know I often on this show, I'm always talking about business and then seeing things others don't see and also understanding content. You know, a lot of people have been talking about the Club Shay interview, Shannon Sharp, and his interviews with Cat Williams and Monique. And I said before, I'm not wasting my time with what somebody say about Tyler and Oprah and other comedians. I mean, I don't care about that stuff. I don't. It means nothing to me. And Shannon's been killing it, did huge numbers, and that's fine. I mean, that's his show. Cool. I got no issue with that. And people are like, well, you gonna talk about that? No. I've been meaning to talk about, though, one of the interviews he did. That was with Kountry Wayne. He's a comedian. And there were some things that he said that I think we should be learning from and to understand. And it didn't get the same amount of attention, obviously, as a lot of stuff that Kat and Monique said. But I dare say this portion of the interview, I argue, has far more value, has greater impact, and if people think about it, could profoundly change how we understand and utilize social media as well as content. Listen to some of this.
How much money do you think you made?
Hold on one second. I'm gonna do this here. Let me get this thing connected properly. Here we go. 1 second. All right, here we go.
How much money do you think you made through social media?
Man, through social media, probably a dub. Probably about just social media. Probably about 20 million last 3 years. That's when I really started monetizing.
Telling jokes, huh? And skits.
It's some skits, man. It's storylines. I was telling jokes at first.
Need a partner?
Yeah, look like you doing fine. I tell you what, boy. Hey, you know about this money.
Yeah.
You know, the social media game. You know, it's the in-stream ads and stuff, but they didn't have that at first. So how I was monetizing at first is getting popular. You go on tour.
Right.
But I was like, that ain't monetization.
Right.
Because if I gotta do this, that's work. So I'm like, no. How can I learn? Because what I did, I was hearing about residuals and all that, and what I did. In math, the whole thing about math is to simplify something. That's what math is. You take 50 over 100 and break it all the way down to 1 over 2. So what I did, I took the TV format, people talking about residual in TV shows, and I you know what I'm saying? I minimized it to a point of, I got my version of that.
Okay.
And now I'm able to make residuals. I'm making money right now while I'm sitting. And people was laughing at me at first. When I first started doing those skits, people like, oh, them little skits, And I went to before I started, I went to every social media who was big at the time and sat down with them. And I look, man, we gotta do this social media thing. We come together, we can share storylines, share content. They was all like, nah, they don't seem like, all right, you wanna keep going out here, tap dancing on tour? All right, so that social media thing, when I figured out that niche, man, I was on to it. And I seen it, so I ain't care what nobody said. I was doing all kinds of skits. I was an old man one time. I was a character named Drip. And I'm like, man, this money really on social media. Because that's where everybody eyeballs at.
Right.
So if I'm an advertiser,
right,
I'm going to keep pouring money into social media. So I feel like social media was the future, whether people want to accept it or not.
But you knew that.
I knew that. I knew that because I already I paid attention and listened. And I realized Hollywood was always the ad business. It never was the movie business,
right?
A TV show business. They always say, let us pay our bills. So you got to pay in the Army.
You know, commercial.
Yeah, in the Army, they teach you attention to detail. Teamwork is the key. So wherever the eyeballs are at, that's where the money gonna be at.
Right.
So if I'm looking to my left and the right and people on their phone all day, it's like investing in the stock. I will be stupid to believe that people are watching this more than they watching this. So I'm like, and these advertisers finna start pouring this money and I'm gonna be a part of this new generation.
You got on the train early.
I got on early. And I caught the pandemic because we'll never sit down like that again.
No.
So I was like, man, we sitting down, everybody waiting to go back to work? I'm like, no.
And everybody wants to be entertained when there's no entertainment going on.
Man, I got all the kinks practicing. Okay, they like this, the algorithm like this like this, this like this, this like this, this like this. I say, bam. I say, man, listen, oh boy. I said, I'm gonna have me $1 billion by the time I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? I already seen it. It was just too many people watching social media.
Besides, obviously, you take care of your kids, you take care of your family. What are some of the other things Wayne spent his money on? What do you spend your money on for you?
For me, I got a Rolls Royce, my house furnished, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple houses. I got a house in Bel Air, house in Atlanta, condo in
Bel Air?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't talking about my boy Ross drink, right? You talking about Bel Air, like right up the street from me.
Yeah, that's where I came from. Yeah.
You looking for a partner in them skits, man. You know, hey, your boy can sing, I can dance a little.
I don't know who you think you fooling. Shay got his own skits. I know you be checking the RPM and CPM.
So you got a place in Bel Air, you got a place in Atlanta.
Yeah, I got a house. I got a house in McDonough, and then I got a condo in Atlanta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You spread out, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got a couple apartments. I got 2 houses in Atlanta and another apartment, and baby mamas, everybody got apartments, but I use all that stuff to shoot skits in too.
Right.
So that's my studio.
They don't even know that's your studio. That's your.
They don't know, boy. Listen here. It's hand over fist because I understood the content and I spend my money on content.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I purchase content now to post on my page that I don't even film.
Right.
That's how I'm really working without working now.
Right.
And you know, that content, I spend my money on content. You know, so I got some real estate stuff I'm about to do. I got some movies. I put my own money up on my own movies.
Right.
My Netflix special, I finance my own special. You know what I'm saying? The license to Netflix. So I spend my money. I flip my money.
Right.
Because I grew up flipping, so I'm addicted to the flip.
Right.
Some people get addicted to the drug, but I got addicted to flipping.
Right.
So I love taking my money and investing into me because I know.
Because you believe in you.
Oh, I believe in me. Wayne gonna get it. They can say what they want to about Wayne every time. the country boy here, I ain't stuck what they talking about.
I mean, obviously, like.
If y'all were paying attention, if you understood the gain that you were getting. See, the reason, even before Shannon interviewed Wayne, I was paying attention to this because during COVID, I was watching those videos and I DM'd Kountry Wayne a few times because I was curious how they shot him. I was curious, were they using multiple cameras? Were they editing? And in the interview, he says, no, they were shooting them straight. He said, no editing. They were shooting with iPhones. That was it. And then I remember watching an interview where Wayne talked about how people told him, you can't, if you're gonna go on tour, if you're gonna go perform, in these theaters, you're gonna have to get a comedian with a bigger name to travel with you. Well, he cultivated his following on social media, and then when he hit the road, he was selling the venues out himself, which meant that he didn't have to pay another big name comedian money to sell the venues out because he was selling it out. He was monetizing his audience. But see, I don't know if y'all missed it. Now, again, a lot of his skits were on Instagram, and he talked about YouTube, but he actually cut a deal where he had his stuff on Facebook. Did you say Facebook? Yeah. He posted this today or yesterday, where he pulled it. And this is from an Instagram page, the most popular social media platforms. Number one by monthly active users. So number one, you see here, Facebook, YouTube 2. Then you got WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and it goes down, Messenger. You got these, Snapchat at the bottom. And you see Twitter not even in the top 10. Some of y'all missed that. Twitter's not even in the top 10. And so Wayne, in his comment there, he said, I'm glad I didn't listen to people who said Facebook fell off. So he was doing his content on Instagram. Facebook saw it. And if you see the interview with Shannon, he was doing so well on Facebook, they called him and said, Say, can you do more videos? Why? They were making money as well. And so then, I don't know if y'all caught it, he says in the interview that I'm now financing my own movies. So when y'all go to Netflix and see the Kountry Wayne movie, Netflix is paying Wayne a licensing fee. Okay, I don't think some of y'all realize what I just said. Netflix does not own Wayne's content, because Wayne is not going to Netflix saying, hey, I got an idea. Can y'all finance this? Wayne is saying, no, I don't need y'all to finance my stuff. I can finance it myself. So now, when he goes to the table, some of y'all need to listen to what I'm about to tell y'all. Wayne is not at the table as talent. He's at the table as the business in show business. In the same interview, because some of y'all might remember when we talked about Taraji Henson, and we talked about the shows and things along those lines. We talked about what they meant. We talked about how much she was getting paid. And there was a very interesting exchange in here. Because I know somebody might just sit and go, man, them little skits I see Wayne doing on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook. Well, listen to this.
Hey, man, to see you know what I'm saying? Like my boy Mike Bliss, me and my brother were going through the numbers, and I'm like, man, I paid him $1 million this year. You know what I'm saying? And the people that I be able to bless, I'm like, man, I'm able to bless everybody, seeing everybody else get their cars and their businesses. That's the most thing. That's the most, all that stuff. I only got a place in LA because, you know, by the time you come out here, handle your business, get Airbnbs, add up, it's about the same.
Right.
So I'm like, I got to have a place comfortable. My clothes already here. I got.
Right.
So.
It was a place to call your own.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So when I'm out here, I can write clear, but man, the most, I'm proud of being able to bless others, man. When I see that, I be like, dang, look at Ro. Look at my sisters. Look at my brothers. They balling.
Right.
I'm like, man, that's what it's about, man. That's the only thing that get me, like, I get excited for them to get more.
Right.
Boy, I'm like, boy, I can't wait to pay. If I pay you $1 million this year, boy, I'm trying to pay you $2 million this year. Because the more I pay you,
the more
I know I got coming.
Right.
So that's what I'm proud of the most.
What's your favorite luxury item that you own?
Okay, now, some of y'all really missed that. What I'm about to say is not, I need to preface this because I don't need the blogs doing whatever they do. What I'm about to say is not a diss on any black actor in Hollywood. But you might remember Terrence Howard talking about how he got paid $12,000 to do Hustle and Flow. You might remember Taraji talking about what she did not get paid for Benjamin Button, I think. How she had to fight to get paid, even for The Color Purple. And I think the number was 500. I can't remember what it was, 500,000. I can't remember whatever she talked about. Kountry Wayne just sat there and said, one of the brothers in his skits makes $1 million a year doing skits on social media. I want to let that sit in. And I get it. Follow me here. I get how we think, ooh, TV show on Fox. Ooh, you in a big screen movie. But when it all comes down to it, can you pay your bills? It's dollars and cents. So his boy Mike likely has much less overhead than a major actor who's trying to be in television shows and movies. Mike bringing home $1 million a year, doing skits. Again, this did not, and I get it. I get why the Cat Williams interview blew up. 57, almost 60 million views. The Monique interview, maybe up to 10, 12. The Steve Harvey interview. But I dare say this discussion that Shannon had with Kountry Wayne is one of the most important discussions that Shannon has done. And we've been so busy with other news. I've been meaning to get to this for the last 3 weeks. It's because in order for things to change in our community, this has to change. We have to stop, let me be perfectly clear, operating in a mindset of white validation. Let me unpack that. A lot of us are enamored with the idea, oh, I'm on CNN, I'm on MSNBC, I'm on Fox News. Do you know what one of the saddest things when she died? Midwin Charles was a legal analyst, and Midwin had been everything she could to become a legal contributor on those networks. And they called and they called and they called and they called. They would call her, and she's making appearances and all that sort of. They never pulled the trigger. She was going on for free. And Midwin and I often talked about it. We had talked a few months before she passed away. And I see a lot of other people. I did free appearances on these cable networks for 4.5 years. But see, also while I was doing that, I also was leveraging it with other things that I was doing, selling books, speeches, things along those lines. And so when I say white validation, I guarantee y'all there are some people going, he's not a real actor. He's just doing those skits with Kountry Wayne. But I've seen Mike in other movies. Not only that, Kountry Wayne now goes from the skits on Instagram, the skits on Facebook, to building out a highly profitable YouTube channel, to now doing comedy shows, to now financing his own movies, which means that he now can begin to finance other projects. You heard him say, I'm making money while I'm sitting right here. He then said, you know what? I'm now buying content. I'm now buying content that I'm now placing on my platforms. That, y'all, is understanding the business of the business. And one of the greatest mistakes that we continue to see from African Americans in Hollywood, in music, in news, in any of these areas where it's content, we love the show, but we don't love the business. Oh, I know. Listen, I just got back from NBA All-Star game in Indianapolis. And you know what? Steph, LeBron, they're going to be making $40, $50 million a year in salary. And other players are making this, that. But remember, Chris Rock said, they said, Shaq rich. Chris Rock said, no. The person paying Shaq is rich. We have got to change this. And we've got to get out of the notion of giving our content away, allowing folk to pay us minimal amounts of money. Then we don't own it. And so then when we no longer can sing, when we get older, no longer can act, guess what? The money stops flowing. But if you've created multiple revenue streams and you monetize your following, you can then take a seat and still print money. That's called the business of show business. And I really think if more people, if more comedians, if more content creators would get out of the business of likes and learn the business of the business, many of these black content creators would not be going broke. You got black people creating dances that blow up on TikTok, ain't getting no money. Yet when Isaac Hayes III creates an app called Fanbase, which allows for you to get paid, folk like, oh no, it ain't this, it's not this, not realizing the hundreds of millions that were pumped into TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook for it to now be Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. It's the business. And I spend lots of time, y'all, talking to black people in so many different areas. And too many of us have been conditioned, and I understand from our parents and grandparents, to get us that nice job, to pay our bills. What then happens when we get laid off?